Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? What is good? The king! Yeah, the king of lightning here today, bringing you guys and gals Berserk Chapter 354. Not a review, but just my general thoughts on this chapter, because this chapter is, listen, from a review standpoint, I have to say, like, of course, it is it is one of the finest in manga history, no doubt. I've been reading Berserk for 8+ years. 8+ years. I have seen the arduous journey of Guts and Casca and all of the painful, tear-jerking, insane things Guts and company, mainly Guts, has been through. The sacrifice that this man has made. Oh my God. 20+ years in the making from an actual real-time standpoint since the end of the Golden Age arc, when Casca's psyche first broke. Kentaro Miura in 2018 February has delivered. Oh man. Casca is back. Casca, her eyes open. You see the light in her eyes. Yes, my man Miura coming in hard right now because Casca is back. Honestly, like, I'm not gonna front. I couldn't be happier knowing that Casca is back, knowing that what Guts did wasn't in vain. At least for the time being, it wasn't in vain. And we'll get to that real soon. But right now, Casca is back. And knowing that in the next chapter, we're gonna have that Guts and Casca reunion. Now, what Casca says, or what she doesn't say, I don't know. But just Guts. Just imagine Guts' reaction. Wow, man. Like, if you haven't read Berserk, you don't know. If you haven't Berserk, first of all, why are you in this video, number one? Number two, you just have no idea. You have no idea. We're talking about some of the most grueling stuff that this guy has been through in manga, period. In comics, period. It's like, dude, Guts. And to see at the end of the day, the journey to Elfhelm, meeting the Fairy King, and then finally getting to this point where Casca's mental state has returned. Casca is back. She's no longer broken. Yes. Yes. Yes, man. Berserk, one of the best manga in history for a goddamn good reason. Kentaro Miura. That was so satisfying. Seeing her just awake and knowing that she's back to some capacity. I'm like, yes, thank God. I love it. I love it. Baby, Miura, that's sexy. That's real sexy. No doubt about it. That's real sexy. That's gonna be one hell of a chapter at the end of March when Guts sees Casca and Casca's talking like actual words and the memory, what happens there. And by the way, I want to give big ups to the only guy I saw on DeviantArt actually draw this. Amante Ichiruki Chan. So this guy, this individual, did a very nice color spread of the final page of this chapter, and I'm gonna give big ups to this person because, again, as far as I know, this person was the only person that did something on DeviantArt. I'm like, that's raw. Berserk fans across the world, they're going like, yes. Hell yeah. And manga fans across the world, they should now know they should now know why Miura stands among the pinnacle of mangaka. No doubt about it. If you don't know, now you know. But of course, it's not over yet, because after Farnese and Shirka, well, let me go through the process real quick of the chapter. So, at the beginning of the chapter, you have the last piece, and this was showcased in the last chapter, chapter 353, where the last piece appeared to be the unborn child, the miscarriage child of Casca and Guts. I think this child may have once again seeped into the consciousness, the psyche of Casca and Shirka and Farnese, because we've seen it before with Guts. Shirka mentions this, where when she was in the Berserk armor, the child kind of guided Shirka to help Guts, because Guts' psyche was getting lost in the Berserk armor. So the child guided Shirka to help Guts, and that's when we have the scene where she opens one of his eyes amongst all the madness. So in this case, it could have been very similar, where the child was kind of protecting Casca's psyche from the memories of the eclipse. Because the eclipse, one of the most horrific moments in manga, period. It's terrible what happened. And the follow-up is almost just as devastating. It's like, wow, so Guts is alive, but Casca just mentally, she's gone. And she's been gone for years. And the child that was, again, in the, I suppose, I don't want to say astral plane, but the child that was in a Casca's psyche, if you would, may have been protecting Casca's psyche from all the memories, from all the madness. And when Shirka kind of does something to unlock the memories, if you would, we see a giant pillar form from the child, and then we see the God Hand, we see the eclipse, we see the original Band of Hawk being consumed and devoured and attacked by the apostles, and you know, just the horrible scene that anybody who reads manga should be familiar with. If not, then you're missing out something that is intense, that is tear-jerking, but ultimately leads up to some of the greatest content in manga. Like, I'm not even joking when I say this. For me, Berserk is in my top 3 manga. Berserk, I think, is that much of a quality series, in all honesty. And when something big like this happens in a series like this, I think it's among the top of whatever category it's in. And in this case, manga. So, again, from the child, you see the pillar of madness and the memories. And they're flooding into Farnese's mind and Shirka's mind. But all they see is images. And the images that Farnese was seeing, she couldn't comprehend. But what she could comprehend was the feelings that Casca was going through, and how it was breaking apart her very soul itself. Which is why you have the entire journey with the Fairy King to reassemble the pieces of her soul, of her psyche. And after the child disappears or dissipates, whatever you want to call it. In fact, I'm not too sure if we're going to see that child anymore. I'm not too sure. That child could have been a byproduct of Casca's own memories to fend off the memories of the eclipse. So it's kind of weird, but there could potentially be some sort of link with the astral image of the unborn child and Casca's condition. And now that Casca's condition has, I can't say it's been fixed, but her memories have returned, then it's possible that the unborn child that we see sometimes helping out Guts and Casca, it's possible that that unborn child will no longer be part of the series. I'm, again, not too sure, but it depends on how Kentaro wants to do it. But after the madness forms the last true piece, Casca's heart, what we see is thorns that are surrounding the heart. So these thorns that are around Casca's heart, of course, indicate the madness and the trauma. Now, Shirka calls it a hex, a curse that was placed upon, I guess, maybe, I want to say self-inflicted, because I don't want to say that Griffith was the one that placed the curse on Casca purposely, given how he had just become Femto, and he did what he did. Like, I don't think he was focusing on creating curses and hexes and that kind of stuff, but it was something that Casca probably subconsciously placed on herself so she could maintain her psyche or something. And so because of that, even though Casca has returned, she's back, there may be some degree of memory loss where she's not completely broken like she was previously mentally, but she may not recall certain things about the eclipse. Something like that. Because again, the thorns around her heart are the memories, are the events of the eclipse. Because when the helix forms, we see the heart, and then we see the madness and the memories go into her heart, and then form the thorns as well. It forms the entire construct, basically. So what happens to Casca now from a mental standpoint? I think that Casca is going to have some degree of memory loss, where she's not going to remember a lot of what happened during the eclipse, or even the entire thing at all. Because if she does, then she may start showing signs of her previous self when her mind was broken, when her psyche was broken. But then there's a second possibility where, like with Guts, who has his own trauma, and that trauma kind of forms in the Berserk wolf thing, there could be a case here with Casca where Casca may have her own inner monster, like Guts does, because of the events of the eclipse. Another possibility is that Casca, she no longer has those feelings for Guts, but they're still inside of her, but they are intertwined with the chaos and the madness that was the eclipse. So that in of itself could play in various ways. Whether she does or does not have the emotions for Guts, we'll see soon enough. But the end result here could be, the closer Casca gets to Guts, the more these memories and these traumas resurface. So that, of course, will be another hindrance when it comes to the bond between Guts and Casca. It was already broken because of the events, and one would hope that it would reform again because Casca's back, but it may not be that easy because those thorns are on her heart. Those thorns are going to hinder something. Something is not going to be completely right. Casca is back, absolutely. But is it the same old Casca that Guts wants to truly be with? I don't know. There could be some flaw there. And this harkens back to what Skull Knight said. There is no guarantee that your wish is her wish. So things make it more complicated now because there are certain flaws in Casca because of the trauma that she suffered during the eclipse. However, there is a light. See, we have already reached like stage 1 of the light at the end of the tunnel, but we're still in the tunnel. That's the thing. We're still in the tunnel. But the light at the end of the tunnel potentially is going to be Farnese and Shirka and company. Because even if Casca forgets about Farnese, I think instinctively she will still remember that this person is a friend. I trust her. Ultimately, the backbone of saving Casca will come through her new friends in Shirka and Farnese and company, and them providing the support that she needs to push through the remaining issues and trauma and, if you would, quote-unquote, darkness that surrounds, that encompasses her heart. So hopefully that I hope that plays out well with Farnese and Shirka and Guts and company. But it's still Berserk, so it's not going to be that cut and dry. Because keep in mind that there is still Griffith Femto at the end of the day. And maybe Casca's issues and those thorns won't go away until Griffith is defeated or something of that sort. But still, major, massive leap forward in the Guts and Casca story. 20 years in the making since the end of the Golden Age arc. For me, 8 years in the making. 8 years in the making. Casca, Guts, the struggle, the pain, the sorrow, and having her eyes open at the end of this chapter, very satisfying. Top tier feel-good moment. Like, good stuff. Very good stuff there. So, I am done. Be sure to rate the video. Let me know your thoughts on the matter at hand, because obviously I want to know where you guys stand with this event itself and where things may go in the future with Casca and Guts. It could go many ways, but where do you guys and gals stand? So once again, be sure to rate the video. It is not that hard to do. I guarantee you that, because I know that you all have a device called Zmouse Sue, and you use Zmouse Sue to click, rate the video, to click, subscribe, to click on that bell to join the squad. And like I said before, comment. Please do comment in the comment section down below. Casca, welcome back. Welcome back. Peace, and have a nice goddamn day.